Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Blit, and in today's video, I am going to be sharing my opinions on the Rinoceronte. This is a tier 10 Italian auto-reloading heavy, and it's a vehicle that I honestly think is kind of in the overpowered category after a lot of thought process. The Rhino is a vehicle that's always been considered in many content creators' minds a very well-balanced tank. In fact, when I talked about the tank in my review, I said it's a really fun, well-balanced vehicle. But after further inspection and opinion, I actually have to take that back. I think that this vehicle is nearing the overpowered category. And the best way to describe if you think a tank feels OP is how A, it feels to drive, and how B, it feels to go up against. When I fight a Rhino player that has half a brain cell, and they're using their gun depression and only showing their turret armor, I find this one of the most cringe tanks to go up against, because it has a double shot gun with high alpha, solid DPM whether it shoots its shells or not, it has good mobility, it has fine gun depression, and the hatch, the only weak spot, which is on the roof, is nearly impossible to hit because of how small it is. Because of that, in most situations, the Rhino is an incredibly challenging tier 10 to fight on a ridgeline. And even though its hull armor is rather mediocre, it doesn't really make much of a difference when it has all that other stuff going for it. So, going up against a Rhino is very cringe, because even though the turret armor is not supposed to be strong enough to get bounces from premium shells, at least reliably, it does. It's like 360 to 70 millimeters effective when using max gun depression. And if you're running enhanced armor, you can make it even stronger. So because of that, I have been slightly waning my opinion to the OP category. Was wondering, why do I have such a fun time driving this vehicle? And it's probably because of the fact that it's a double shot concept 1B, if you kind of think about it. I mean, yeah, the armor on the turret isn't as good, but it's still very, very good turret armor. The only tanks which are going to reliably be able to cut through this turret are tank destroyers. And that's it. I mean, the E3 and Waffenträger probably can cut through it, but something like a Progetto, 5A, 132 on E75, and 55A, they're not cutting through my turret at all. And as we can see, this is quite a mobile heavy, definitely faster than a lot of the other competition, allowing this tank to be able to get in the position very quickly and actually have a rather enjoyable experience. So we got the 55A, just shoot a quick shot at him so he doesn't poke the hill. Now we can chill right over here. So we have the 5A, and boop, there you go. Look at that, 5A bounces my turret. Not that he was ever going to pen it to begin with. And what's crazy about this tank is, as I mentioned, you have solid single shot damage per minute as well. So there's really no downside for shooting the vehicle on single shot. Alright, well, so far we're doing pretty good. We've got some bleeds into our enemy opponents. And we reload again. We got the 5A over here, aiming. Bonk. Oh, that shell was just sag. Sometimes your on-movement dispersion does not love you. That was one of those moments there. Alright, well, let's move up over to the E75, possibly. And I got a little itty-bitty time on my reload. Come on, 3, 2, 1. Boom, get him in the track wheel. And one more shell in the track wheel. Yep, there's that double shot mechanic on this vehicle. Okay, well, already we're doing decent. You know what's impressive, though? The fact that our team is losing this. That's what I find impressive. Judging that, this really should not be a challenging game for our team to pull off here. We have the WZ, which I do get a nice shell into, 420 damage. What are we doing, Bat Chat? What are we doing? Oh, my rat. Our teammates are terrible. Absolutely terrible. Come on, let me get the clear. Oh, 419, and it rolls 380. That is so sad. Okay, let's back up before the Waffenträger has the shell on me. Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how strong your tank is if this is the team that you get given to play with it in, right? I mean, this team was absolutely dookie balls. Alright, let's reload, and there you go. Easy shell into the 55A. I could shoot that WZ, but at the end of the day, I'd rather get the DPM out in this tank. Come on, reload, and back up a little bit. Come on, E3. There you go. Easy tracking shell for 350 damage. There you go. Another 468. And even in this game, where my team absolutely sucked, I was still able to deal upwards of 3,700 damage. And it shows a great example of why I think this tank is so incredibly strong. I probably would not have been able to deal that much damage in any other tier 10 in that situation. It's the fact that I have the double shot mechanic, I've got the good mobility, I've got the DPM. I mean, we blocked a decent amount. We did a lot. Our team sucked. I mean, I don't even know how our team sucked that bad. I really don't. All our mediums had to do, like our STB, all this player had to do was sit hull down on medium flank while the heavies won the mid. That's all they had to do. Their 55A wasn't even on medium flank. So I don't understand how our team lost the medium side of the map. They must have literally YOLO'd into the enemy team. That's the only way I can imagine we lost that game. Because I... That's all I can say. But, yeah, I mean, the tank did fine, and that's all that really matters, at least for the first game, is how it was able to perform even in a crushing defeat. Again, would a Kron have been able to get that much damage in that situation there? Probably not, because the Kron would have not had nearly as much damage per minute output in that moment. It wouldn't have been as fast to get onto the bridge. I would have been sitting in mid more often. And it's a great example, again, of where this tank really has an amazing capability. So here we go. Let's see what we can do alert here. Again, the mobility on this tank feels great. The fact that you're able to accelerate upwards of, 40-ish kilometers per hour in such a heavily armored vehicle, hull armor, it's pretty mid, but you don't really need hull armor on a vehicle that has gun depression and is small enough like this to hide your tank. After playing the Waffenträger for the last week, driving this thing feels amazing because you're tiny and you don't actually have to worry about getting, nuked or anything like that. So we're going to chill right over here, and we have the enemy E3. Unfortunate. The accuracy on this tank is pretty good, but as we saw, it was a little iffy on that enemy E3. But because we have that double shot mechanic, we are able to get a second very easy shell into that player there. So we have the E3 showing me his lower plates. I was wondering if we get penned or not. No, that was a 0 damage HE basically into our vehicle. And again, look at this. The C3 shoots, but because I have a single shot mechanic, I can just reload and clear him. That's so nice, the fact that we have the single shot capability to take that player out of the game. We have the 183 all the way in the back, and I'm not really worried about the 183. Yeah, that was a pretty delayed shot, my dude. That was also a high explosive shell, as we can see the little splattering on the wall there. 183 is obviously going to try and run away, and that's fine. I'm just going to reload my tank. I'm going to try and clear these players over here first. We have the M103 and the enemy 113. We're going to see if we can get some damage into these players. Aiming, and bonk. There you go. 438 damage shell into the enemy 113. And bonk. There you go. 429. He does pen me, but doesn't really matter. The 113's a one-shot now. Bro's dead, and we can start turning towards the rest of the team. This was definitely a better game to really showcase where the Rinoceronte is able to put out a pretty solid impact. At this moment, I think the best play to make is to take this enemy FE2 and 5P 183 out of the battle. And even though the 183 is an incredibly dangerous tank, I'm hoping that our 50B... Come on, 50B. There you go. Nice. Okay, he looks at the 50B. What? Okay, there you go. There it is. Apparently he hits that shot, guys. I mean, you saw that. You saw that he just snapped that with 0 resistance whatsoever right into my tank. But okay. Gotta love the 183 players and their incredible luck. I do have the 50B overlooking me, so at least I got that. But we would have been 1,600 health right now. Oh, well. Oh, well, I guess. Our STB needs to get out of there, or he's going to die. So let's hope that he does get out of there. Oh, no, I'm cookered. I'm definitely cookered. There you go. One shell into the Progetto. Well, once again, our teammates not doing the best of jobs. Let's just hope that... No, it wouldn't have mattered. I did 4,700 damage. Just can't believe that 183 ended up hitting that shell on me. On my screen, I was back in the cover before that 183 had the shot. But I guess that he still hit it. Oh, well. World of rigged scamming exposed. World of... Okay, you guys. Some of you get the joke there, some of you don't. Either way, the Rhino did a great job. And really the only reason we lost this was because that 183 was able to hit me with that shot. In retrospect, maybe it would have been better for me to not poke and wait for the 50B and just focus something else, but oh well. In retrospect, everything is hindsight, right? You guys can let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions about the Rhino down below, but I think that this is an absolutely fantastic tank. And even if you don't think that it is an overpowered vehicle, at the end of the day, it is still great, and if you haven't ground it, it's one of the best tanks to grind in the game. It does require a little bit of skill because it doesn't have armor on the hull, but if you understand a little bit about using gun depression and hull down capabilities, this vehicle is absolutely fantastic. So, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!